Hey guys! So, this is gonna be story time, as you can probably tell from this title, and it is the time I almost died at Chick-Fil-A. You know, near-death experience, the whole shebang. Now, this was my first time at Chick-Fil-A, not my last, however, one of the most memorable, honestly. So, this is not any shade at Chick-Fil-A, because it's a beloved, amazing, cult classic fast food institution. So, this is the time I almost died at Chick-Fil-A. So, this story requires a little backstory, so let's get to it. So, me and my friends are all on this team, and we have competitions. It's called Color Guard. I don't know if you know it. But we have competitions all over the Southern California. So we were at one of these competitions, and it was like a really long day. Like, we had two competitions. We went there, we went to eat, and then we went back to compete. So during our lunch break, we went to this little shopping center. It had like Wendy's, something, and Carl's Jr. and Chick-Fil-A. So I've never had Chick-Fil-A, mostly because they boil or bake and do stuff with peanut oil, and my stepmom's allergic. So I went and I was like, ooh, so excited, right? Now we're here and we're waiting for our food because my friends ordered before me. I had to decide what I was gonna eat. So I was sitting there, and my friend had her drink, like fruit punch or something, and I just kind of like go to reach for it to drink, whatever. Now, things you need to know: I'm a messy bitch, I'm clumsy, I will die like tripping on my own feet. I will trip and I will like scrape up my entire leg or something. Seriously, I have a scar on my knee from Duck Duck Goose at like a camp practice or something, and I was 13. So I am super clumsy. Shit like this happens to me all the time. But this happened to be at Chick-Fil-A. So I took her drink and I'm going to drink it, and I'm like, okay, cool. And my friend just kind of looks over me like, whatever, we share food, we share drinks all the time. But I start like choking, like, it, you know, when it goes down the wrong pipe and you're just like, oh crap. But like normally you cough a couple times and you're good. No, me being the messy bitch that I am, I start choking, like actually choking, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh no. And so I do like the universal sign for choking, right? And all my friends are just like, they're like talking, and we're like, there's a joke happening, so everybody's laughing. They think I'm laughing with them, and eventually the time like for like laughing ends, and they're like, Caitlyn, why are you still laughing? And then they look at me and I'm like, and they're like, oh god, Caitlyn, are you choking? And I'm like, they're like, you're stupid. I'm like, now help me. And they're kind of like, put your arms up, like, we don't, like, I don't know, like, because you're supposed to do that. And I'm like, but I'm like coughing and choking, so I'm like, trying. And they're like, Caitlyn, you're not gonna do anything if you can't get it up. And I'm like, I don't know what you want me to do. But meanwhile, I'm saying all this in my head because there's something in my throat, and it's fruit punch. And so I'm trying to like get this out of my system, whatever, and they're all just kind of staring at me like, crap. And there's like 6 people in this booth, and my friends and my family were all known for being like, you know when you make fun of your friends but like in good humor? That's our humor. So, and I'm kind of like a running joke because I'm such a mess, honestly. So like the time for like joking and stuff ends, and they're all just kind of like, Caitlyn, like, what? And they're like, stop choking. And I'm like, would if I could. And while this is all happening, my friend gets her food. Like, he comes over, like, Chick-fil-A employee, sets the food down, kind of looks at me, and then goes back to work. And I'm like, and I think it's because my other friends were like probably laughing, because they're like, we're laughing because it's awkward, you're like choking. And they were laughing at a joke earlier, and we were probably those like loud assholes in restaurants, but it was busy. It was like 12 on a Saturday, so it's fine. But he kind of is like, oh, you're weird, and walks away. Like, I'm like choking, and he just like leaves. I'm like, thanks for the help, that's great, thanks. And now my friends are like, Caitlyn, like, this is not good, like, stop. I'm like, okay, yeah, I should, like, so I'm like choking, and I'm honestly thinking right now that like I'm going to choke and I'm gonna die in this booth, and all my friends are just gonna be like, shit, like, that happened. And so I'm choking, and I'm listening in my headphones because I was like listening to headphones on the car ride over or something, and I never took it out, and like Make Me Cry by Noah Cyrus or whatever is in my head, and I'm just like, huh, great, this is the song I'm gonna die to. I'm gonna die right here, choke, whatever. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, crap. And eventually, like, I'm coughing for like 5 minutes and whatever. Obviously I wasn't choking for like 5 minutes with no air. Like, I could get like some in, but it was like so much coughing, like, you know when you have like coughing fits and you just can't get any air, and that's what was happening, and I was just like, no air. And my friends are like, put your arms over your head, it'll go down faster. And so eventually I kind of like get it out of my system, whatever. My friend just kind of turns to me and is like, that's karma, bitch, you stole my drink. And I'm like, I'll take that, I stole your drink, I really did, you know. And my friends are all joking about it now because obviously the danger has passed, but like my throat's still sore, and I'm kind of just like and they kind of like look at me whenever I cough now, and it's like, Caitlyn, are you gonna choke? Like, don't do that. Remember that time you choked at Chick-Fil-A and you almost died? And I'm like, I do remember that. And this is probably a couple months ago, but I'm just like, I do remember that. I do not think I'll forget that. But all my friends use it as a running joke now. Caitlyn almost died at Chick-Fil-A, guys. Don't trust her with food, you're gonna choke. Like a couple dinners ago, I like went to go grab somebody's drink, and they're like, you shouldn't do that, you're gonna choke because karma's a bitch. And I'm like, I'm more of a mess than anything, but I'll take it. But no shade at the Chick-fil-A employee. He was probably just like, who's this weird bitch, like laughing like a fucking joke. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. And then I'm a mess. I almost died at Chick-fil-A. That's the story. Alright, see you guys later.